HBCUs, formerly known as historically black colleges and universities, were created to ensure African Americans could receive a high-quality education after being denied access to white institutions. The history and importance of HBCUs start far beyond its origin, dating back to the times of severe oppression and racism.
African Americans were enslaved for over 400 years. African Americans were considered to be a legal form of property during the 18th and 19th centuries.
In 1865, at least half of the United States abided by the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment states neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction.
The 13th Amendment abolished slavery in 1865 to protect the rights of newly freed people. Congress enacted 2 additional constitutional amendments. In 1868, the 14th Amendment was created to guarantee African Americans citizenship rights and promised that the federal government would enforce equal protection of the laws. While the implementation of the 13th and 14th Amendments provided African Americans with certain rights, equality had not yet been obtained.
Racial segregation in American schools stood as the catalyst for the creation of historically black colleges and universities. African Americans with hopes of gaining a higher education turned to HBCUs, the primary source of trades, geared to advance the education of blacks in an otherwise divisive society.
Higher education was non-existent for African Americans until historically black colleges came about. Congress officially defines an HBCU as a school established before 1964, whose principal mission was and is the education of black Americans.
In the 1930s, 121 historically black educational institutions, both private and public, existed. But now in the present day, 101 historically black colleges and universities are still standing. A major draw for students looking to attend historically black colleges and universities is the sense of community one gets when entering their specific institution.
I think it's important to go to a HBCU for college because it's really good to embrace the black culture. Right now I go to a predominantly white school and I just kind of want a change, and I want to be able to be around people who look like me, who act like me, be around people who embrace their culture like me, and I just want to be able to learn in a safe environment where, everyone is black, so yeah.
Those who have found a safe haven within their HBCU credit it to the attention and care the administration gives to their students.
I actually went to PWI first, and then I transferred to HBCU. So just because I was from Jackson, Mississippi, I wanted to kind of leave Jackson, but I ended up coming back. And coming back to HBCU really helped me because I'm not just a number here. They care about what I want to do. They care about my career. They care about how my life is going and everything like that. And you can go other places and it won't be the same way. Being at this HBCU has brought me so many more opportunities. I've met so many good people. Networking is amazing. It's just everything. They really care here, and you don't get that at every college.
Some will go as far as to say HBCUs provide a familial aspect, a path for blacks to achieve excellence and become successful despite the daily challenges African Americans face in today's society.
I love Jackson State because it's very family oriented. The vibe is just there, and I feel like you should choose a HBCU because you can't get this experience nowhere else. Like it's like home from home, so I honestly feel like everyone should attend the HBCU.
At the core of HBCU's existence are its highly respected traditions. The academics, dedication to community service by way of Greek organizations, and alumni-centered events hold great importance as it's been cultivated throughout the years.
Founded on the importance of academic rigor, HBCUs place value on its educational practices. Of the many misconceptions regarding HBCUs, the most common myth is the belief that historically black institutions provide its students with an inadequate education.
For 2 consecutive years, Howard University, a predominantly black institution founded in 1867, has successfully competed against Ivy League and predominantly white institution Harvard University. Equipped with the necessary knowledge, Howard University defeated Harvard University and clearly demonstrated the talent possessed by HBCU students.
How does one determine there's no place like home? When it's time to come back home. A time of great celebration, HBCU homecomings promote enthusiasm for one's educational institution and encourage fellowship between students and alumni.
For decades, HBCU homecomings have been the events heard across the globe. Known for their distinct customs, an HBCU homecoming is a gathering one must see to believe. Not an event to be taken lightly, an HBCU homecoming provides the platform for Black culture to be displayed on a large scale.
At HBCUs, the love for community extends far beyond the campus. On any given day, one can expect to witness acts of community service done by students on and off campus.
Arguably the largest vehicle for community service throughout HBCUs are the various Greek organizations present on campus.
So there's a lot of tradition and culture at HBCUs that are so much different than PWI cultures and traditions. For one, our homecomings. They're much more extravagant. They're bigger. It's really just like a really huge family reunion. You have just everybody coming back and really excited to see each other. Especially at Hampton, we have the step show with 12 to 5, where there's vendors and just different things that you can do that really immerse you into HBCU culture.
Since their formation, HBCUs have grown in recognition and notable alumni, with graduates of high caliber like Morehouse graduate Martin Luther King Jr. and Howard University Bison Toni Morrison. It comes as no surprise that HBCUs are held in such high regard.
Student appreciation for HBCUs doesn't stop come graduation. In fact, alumni tend to encourage family to attend HBCUs following high school. Most often, this is seen through parent and child relationships.
So our question for you is this: how did you introduce Illy and your other daughter Olivia, who's a freshman here, to your illustrious HBCU, and how does it feel now that you have two of your little girls walking the campus that you used to walk?
It is awesome. I introduced them in, I think, 8th grade or 9th grade, bringing her. Someone, who won't be mentioned, didn't really want to go to Hampton initially and told me 4 times they were never coming. They didn't like homecoming. They want another experience. I'm going to live my own life. And boom! Here she is, right here, my baby girl.
Right here at the
So when she announced she was going to Hampton, no one was more surprised than me. But all I did is I just kept showing them what it had to offer, and then letting it sink in. You can only come here so many times before you stop, look around, and actually look beyond your parent or look beyond whoever brought you and say, wait a minute, how do I see myself?
As a result of HBCU's distinct institutions composed of highly intelligent and sought-after alumni, HBCUs provide an experience that encapsulates a culture like no other.
All right, so thank you guys for watching that video, and it pretty much encompassed everything that I was going to talk about, but they had lots of pictures, and I don't think you guys wanted to see me stepping or singing. So without further ado, we are going to move into our panel, our esteemed panel that we have. So I'm gonna call Miss Amina Muhammad first. So our 3 panelists, in 60 seconds or less, if you can introduce yourself and let us know your major and your plans and anything else we need to know.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amina Muhammad. As Ms. Mitchell said, I graduated from the class of 2017, and I'm currently a senior vocal performance major here at Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. Some things that I plan to do with my major are going into music education and music therapy, and I plan on going to grad school for that. But I'm taking a gap year because Corona. But currently some things that I'm involved with on campus. I'm an RA, I'm vice president of our Student Government Association, as well as, just in the music department and everything, in the band and the choir. So I'm very involved. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here.
All right, well, thank you. So next we have Thaddeus PA.
How you doing? Hi, everyone. My name is Thaddeus P. II. I'm a senior communication major at the illustrious Bowie State University, the oldest historically Black college in the state of Maryland. And I plan to get my master's degree in secondary education, and I want to be a teacher at Norristown. Some of the things that I'm involved in at Bowie State University, I'm a part of the Symphony of Soul marching band, concert band, and the jazz ensemble. I'm also a part of the Navigators Campus Ministry, also African American male empowerment group called Ignite, which has helped me greatly. I'm also a part of the National Association of Black Journalists, which is the largest African American national journalist association in the country. And yeah, that's me.
So anybody in HR or anybody that has anything to do with interviewing, you just heard it here first, breaking news that Thaddeus PA wants to come back here and be a teacher. Because the last time I talked to him, he was thinking about being on CNN or MSNBC, or which you can still do that too. You know, just fly back in time for class in the morning. All right. All right. And last and certainly not least, we have Mr. Shay Ash, our school board president.
Hi, everyone. Can everybody see me? I'm like competing for Wi-Fi here.
Yes,
we can see your photo.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yeah, we can see your
struggle
photo.
of virtual learning here in this house. Hi, everyone. My name is Shay Ash. I am the school board president for North Scenario School District. I'm also an alumni of Norfolk State University, also known as Big State in Virginia. So if anyone's considering Virginia State University, reconsider. But I did study finance at Norfolk State, where I did get my degree in 2013. Came back to Norristown, where I'm currently working. I work for State Senator Amanda Capoletti. Previously, I worked for Congressman Brendan Boyle and Congresswoman Madeline Dean. So that kind of, my HBCU experience led me to that direction, and I'm happy to be here.
And thank you. And I also know that we need to wish you a belated happy birthday.
Thank you.
It was a couple of days ago. And I think I told you guys, I also graduated from Lincoln University and graduated in 1996. Most of you weren't even born or thought about it at that time. I see Mr. Brennan doing the math. And my major was psychology. So I got my master's degree in secondary school counseling from Lehigh University. And I've only had 2 jobs since then, 2 counseling jobs, one in Allentown and the other in Norristown. All right. So if you guys, and you can pick what order you want to go into, before we start talking about our HBCU experience, what were some of your best memories at NAHS that you can share?
Easily, when we went to New York to sing at the Lincoln Center my senior year, that's probably number one. Spending time there, getting closer with the people I was already kind of close with, and singing at the Lincoln Center was like an awesome experience that I still like remember vividly to this day. So that's probably my number one for me. Shout out to Miss Danoff, the greatest choir teacher ever.
Yes, Thaddeus, you definitely stole mine, but it's okay. Yeah, that's probably my favorite memory as well. Because when we went there, at that time, us as all seniors, thinking about, next steps of our life, and like that was just like a memory that encapsulated our whole, time at, NHAS and HS. And I don't know, it just kind of was like a view of the future in a way, just kind of showing us that, we're here, but we also have some places to go. So yeah, definitely Miss Danoff, the best choir director ever.
All right, Miss Danoff.
Yeah, and for me, I would, say the best memory I think is honestly the teachers, especially like there was a lot of teachers that were Norristown grads. So I was able to relate to them and be able to connect to them. And they made my experience at Norristown High School the best.
All right. So thank you. So I wanted to give you guys a couple of stats about HBCUs. And so it says that HBCUs have provided undergraduate training for 3/4 of all persons holding a doctorate degree, 3/4 of all Black officers in the armed forces, and 4/5 of all Black federal judges. And 50% of Black faculty in traditionally white research universities receive their bachelor's degree at an HBCU. So those are some things that people don't know. So for you panelists, if you can talk to us about what you think are the biggest misconceptions of HBCUs. Whoever wants to go first.
That's only. Oh, you can go. Me, you got it.
Okay, thank you. I was just gonna say, like they said in the video, a lot of times people think that at HBCUs we don't get a proper education. That we're not accredited. We're just party schools and whatnot. But they don't understand that there's actually like a rich culture there. That our education is actually top tier, and that we can compete with any school in the country if we need to. So yeah, that's definitely one of the two biggest misconceptions.
I would say another huge misconception is that HBCUs are only for Black people. Like non-Black people are kind of hesitant to apply because, like, well, I'm not Black. Are they going to accept me? Like, HBCUs don't practice discriminatory practices. HBCUs were founded by Black people for Black people, but now the HBCU experience is for all students to come and experience the richness of Black culture, because we're more than just you're not just going to get a typical African American experience. We encapsulate Black people from the entire African diaspora. So you got people from Haiti, got people from Nigeria, you got Black people from all over the world, and you experience that at an HBCU. So yeah, if there's anybody like that you're not African American and you're hesitant, like do I apply? Apply, because the experience is gonna increase you, and it's gonna grow you culturally, like overall. So.
Yeah, Thaddeus actually took mine. That HBCUs, the misconception is that HBCUs are not diverse, and they are. There are a ton of different cultures that I learned when I first attended Norfolk State, and the other thing I would say is another misconception is that HBCUs don't have money. They definitely don't receive the same funding as other institutions, but they are constantly growing, and there is opportunities available for financial aid and others for students.
Yeah, and I just want to add real quickly that, I had a student a couple of weeks ago that asked me, if I go to an HBCU, am I going to be anybody important? And my question was, who is the current vice president of the United States, Miss Kamala Harris? Period. So, as so many people in high levels of government, you have Keisha Lance Bottoms, who's the mayor of Atlanta. You have Stacey Abrams, who you guys may know, that was very instrumental in getting Joe Biden elected. And the list goes on and on and on. So and of course, our school board president. So just make sure that you keep those faces in mind when you ask that question. Why do you guys think students should consider attending an HBCU?
It's family. Like, from the moment you step on campus, you are adopted into an entirely new family. Like, Bowie State literally took me, you know what I'm saying? And you, from the students to the high up administration, like me and the president at Bowie State, like, this is obviously pre-COVID. I would see her all the time. She's from Pennsylvania. We would talk like literally all the time. There's no hierarchy. Like, everybody knows each other. Everybody's looking out for each other. Whether you need like a few bucks to go get something to eat, or whether you need help practicing for your math exam or whatever, like you are adopted into a family. And like the young lady said in the video, you're not just a number at HBCU. You're a part of a family, like for life. Whether you graduate there or you go and you stay for 1 or 2 semesters, like no matter what, like y'all are family. So I say consider the HBCU because of that. Like you got people who will look out for you for the rest of your life.
I think HBCU is a totally different experience to college life. You can, the family aspect is there, and also just the events, the activities that happen. We tend to look at going to the big schools for whatever, whether it's the parties or the sports or whatever, but the HBCU homecomings, the MEAC tournaments, CIAA tournaments, whatever it is, that experience is one of the greatest for me, and being able to be around people that look like me, that are my friends and family. That's one of my greatest experiences there.
I have a lot of reasons why I think, you all should consider coming to HBCU, but I think, one of my biggest reasons are that just the atmosphere like at a HBCU prepares you for the world. Like I think at HBCUs we get taught a lot of life lessons, and the staff there really cares about you and your growth, not in an instance of you being coddled and not being prepared, but really like they know the reach of your potential at a HBCU, and they want to challenge you in a way to think about things that you may have not thought about, depending on where you came from. And I think because the staff knows where the majority of the students are Black, and the type of neighborhoods and communities that they came from, there's a different type of understanding, whether it be mental health, whether it be your physical health. They understand if certain things come to academics, people learn different. Some people learn better visually, and some people learn better in different ways, and they just take everything into consideration because they know where we came from, and they know where we're trying to go. So I think that's important when trying to just build yourself as a human. So
yeah, and I agree with your points. I'm a second generation college student, so my parents both attended HBCUs, and in my house, if we wanted to go to college, it was mandatory for our first year to attend an HBCU just so that we can get that experience. And then if we wanted to transfer somewhere else, we could do that. And I chose to stay because of that family atmosphere, and they're usually smaller, campuses that embrace you a little bit more, and you don't have to be paranoid that if your teacher's not being nice to you or you're not doing well, it's not because you're Black. You just not doing well because you're not doing well, and so you need to get your stuff together. So I totally agree, and that's what I got from it too. So what do you guys think were some struggles that you had in high school? Some struggles, some challenges, or just a goal that you wanted to work on in high school that was a problem in high school, but maybe in college, your HBCU was able to kind of help you move through those things. And if you want to pass on this one, you can pass. That's a deep question.
So what I would say, like, just a struggle in general attending Arsenary High School and transitioning to Norfolk State. So when I attended, I'm a little bit older than Thaddeus and Amina, but honestly, like Norristown, in my opinion, when I graduated, was not nearly as diverse as it is currently. So that, when we're talking about today and the importance of adopting curriculums that have Black and brown culture written into history and bring that into learning, that was not a conversation at Norristown when I was there. And, when I got to Norfolk State, it was almost like a culture shock because I only knew what, my parents would tell me. I'm also a second generation HBCU grad, but, going to Norfolk State, there was a lot about my own culture and other cultures that I did not know, that I did not learn at Norristown because it, just wasn't a conversation. And that, we were probably about, when I graduated, it was probably about, more 40% African American, 40% white, and the rest were Hispanic. And now it's completely flips, and totally different diversity now than it was when I attended.
Yeah, you got it. My bad.
I'm sorry. So in high school, my home life was very, very rough. And I kind of used school as like an escape for that. But at the same time, I tried to be like overly independent and not accept or ask for help. It was very hard for me to ask for help and to reach out. And then even when people gave help, I didn't want it because I felt like I was being a burden and etc. So now, I'm still something that I've been working on, but I definitely see and understand the value of using your resources and reaching out for help, because at the end of the day, you can't do it all the time, by yourself. So yeah, that's definitely something that I have developed at HBCU.
I would say for me, especially like my last 2 years at Norristown, like it was a struggle for me to accept the fact that, like, this is gonna sound like weird, but like it was a struggle for me to accept the fact that I was like actually like intelligent in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt intellectually inferior like my last 2 years, especially like if I'm talking to certain kids, I'm like, well, I'm not as smart as them, or I can never say something like that. So like that was like a huge struggle for me to like accept the fact, like, all right, like being secure in my own intelligence. And then once I got to Bowie State University, and like I got around people um who looked like me, and who didn't make me feel intellectually inferior, but who actually, like, the people who knew more, who were smarter than me, didn't use it as a tactic to make me feel low. Like they like brought me in. They were like, come on, let's sit down, let's work through this. Did you know this? Did you know that? And like I would like learn from them. And I really like never really got that at Norristown. You know what I mean? So I think Bowie State University addressed that issue that I was having of being secure in my own intelligence. So I think that's an issue that Bowie State University helped me with.
And just to add that is, and you can give me permission or not to share a little bit about senior year.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Thaddeus was one of my students, and he presented how he presents now. So he is exactly this serious as he was in 12th grade. And he was very heavy into his music. But we didn't really realize until 11th to 12th grade that his grades weren't too hot. And he was really struggling trying to get accepted to some colleges. He would go to instant decision days and he would apply, and he kept getting rejections. But Mr. Hadrick, senior, you guys know Mr. Hadrick, the counselor at Eisenhower, but his dad went to an HBCU and he knew 2 or 3 other people who were HBCUs. And so they used their networks to have conversations with people to get Thaddeus at Bowie State. And so he did a music interview and all that kind of stuff, got accepted. And so that network was instrumental in getting him at Bowie. And then his first semester, what was your GPA?
4.0.
A 4.0. Right? So for those of you who, may be feeling that same way, just remember Thaddeus. Thaddeus was very, very bright, but he was into his music, and not really focusing on his other classes. And so that's why he kind of felt a certain way about himself, but it wasn't him. It was just, it's a piece of paper, right? So he's doing great, and just enjoy watching your social media and seeing everything that you're doing. So that's great. So, what are you guys' best or favorite memory that you have had at your HBCUs? Because it's always crazy stuff going on at college. I think my freshman year, some guy jumped out a window on the 3rd floor and lived to tell the story. Crazy, crazy story. You
I
know.
got like 17 of them. Like, I'm gonna keep it brief though, because like you said, HBCUs is so like eventful. Like from the midnight breakfast during midterms, like you got the Greek stepping, you got the DJ. It's like 12, 1 o'clock at night. Everybody's supposed to be getting ready for midterms. I'm getting pancakes, like orange juice. Like that was crazy. But my favorite, I'm gonna give you all top three. So I went to the Bahamas with the campus ministry I'm a part of called the Navigators in 2018. I'm on a mission trip. That was awesome. Was down there for like a month. I'm still cool with the team I went there with and the people and the other Bahamians that I got to like meet. Like me and them still talk to this day. Then I went to my school paid for me to go to Miami in 2019 for the National Association of Black Journalists National Convention. I was down there. I was like met like a lot of the people that I saw on ESPN, CNN, every major journalism network. Like all those people were like down there, and they really like embraced me. So that was super fun. Then last year, me and Amina, we met up in North Carolina because our schools are both in the same conference for this tournament, and all the bands in the conference came together and played a song. We played "The Box" by Roddy Ricch, and that was an awesome experience as well. Obviously, to see Mean and to see like a person that I went to school with, and we had history together, and to see us like at like the top of our game, that was awesome. But then also like interact with the other people, the other bands in the conference, and it really just brought back that family aspect. Like we may compete across the field or across the court, but at the end of the day, it's all family. So we were all just congratulating each other and just really encouraging each other. So that was probably like my top three by far.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep it to three as well, or I'll be here all day. But a funny memory was actually, Norfolk State is right by Virginia Beach, so nobody in that town knows how to make a snowball, what snow is, and I'm a RA at this point, and we get 3 inches of snow. School is closed for a week because they don't have salt trucks, so they took the sand from the beach, threw them all over the campus so people didn't slip. So teaching residents how to throw a snowball, it's like what? It's a regular snowball. That backfired on me, by the way. So if you're an RA, don't find your residents and then teach them how to throw a snowball. The next one I would say with RA, I was one of my years at Norfolk State, I was an RA for the basketball dorm. And we went to the MEAC tournament. This was the first time that our team actually had a winning record. We won that tournament, but then we ended up going to the NCAA tournament because we got our bid to go. In the first game, we played Missouri, which was number 1 seed. They were going to, favored to win. Norfolk State actually beat them. They were the second HBCU to upset top 10 and NCAA team, and that was probably one of the most memorable because one of my residents, he just recently, I don't think he plays anymore, but he was recently playing for the Sixers, but it opened up a lot of opportunities for a lot of students just because of that national exposure for an HBCU. And then the third one, I would just also say, when I first started Norfolk State, the games, the fanfare at the games between HBCUs is always a fun rival. So, like I said before, Norfolk State is considered big state. Virginia State is little state. There's a history where Virginia State was actually, the main campus, and Norfolk State was a annex campus of Virginia State before separating. So there's always been a rival ever since. But right after Michael Jackson passed, There was the Labor Day Classic, which is always between Norfolk State and Virginia State. Usually has about 30,000 fans there. Both of the bands came onto the field to play a Michael Jackson tribute, which is the only time you're going to get Norfolk State and Virginia State on the field together and not fight. But it was a good unifying moment at that point, and it was definitely a good performance to say. So that was my top 3 experiences.
I definitely have a lot of memories too. Miss Mitchell, you know how Lincoln is. But well, definitely some of the things that come directly to mind are, me going on tour with our choir. And we went, up to New York, and we kind of just traveled up and down the East Coast. And then, all of our trips that we take with our band. But honestly, my favorite memory at Lincoln to this day, it's my first day of classes, because for me that represented like something a lot bigger, that I was starting my life over and I had a whole bunch of new opportunities. I went into my choir and band class for the first day, and they already knew my name. They were like, "Oh, hey, Amina, hey, hi," and I was the only one that was new that came that semester. So that was a great day for me, because like I said, it just symbolized for me, like, the start of a new future. So yeah.
All right, well, thank you. We're going to open it up for questions and answers if anybody has any in a second. So our last question is, what is one more last thing that you guys would like to add that you think we should know about HBCU, or a final pitch for your school? Just one last thing.
Like, don't overthink the process. If you're considering going to an HBCU, go. You know what I mean? Like, the education is top notch. You're gonna get professors who care about you. You're gonna meet friends that you're gonna have for the rest of your life. Honestly, go experience something new. So that's all I really want to say to y'all. Go. Obviously, go to Bowie State University, but go to a HBCU. A HBCU.
Or if you want to go to the best HBCU, go to Norfolk State University. Behold the green and gold. But I would also just add to that is our professors, our academic advisors, they'll help you get to the finish line. That is the one thing that you see with Black individuals going to college. The percentage of us finishing is not high, and we often find ourselves struggling, whether it's financially, academic. They will get you to that finish line. There's going to be those bad semesters, and it's going to drop your GPA or whatever else is going on in your life. Those professors will get you there to the finish line, and that's one thing that you'll get at an HBCU, because it's such a small community and it's a family. You're going to get that connection. You're going to get that support to get your degree and go to the next level.
Yes, I definitely agree with both of them. And I just want to say, again, Lincoln was the first degree granting HBCU, so it's only right to come here. But no, seriously, as Thaddeus said, just try it out. It's definitely the scholarships for me, because there's a lot of scholarship opportunities that one HBCUs offers, and then outside or sources offer to students that are considering going to HBCU or are already attending. I go to Lincoln right now for free. For free. I got accepted to a school in New York for musical theater, but I was not trying to pay $20,000. But I'm here, and I have a merit scholarship because of my GPA, and then I get a refund because I have scholarships from choir and band. So it's definitely, I just want to say, regardless, you are not your situation. And if you're thinking in high school now, am I going to be able to go to college? Is my GPA too low or this and that? My GPA was a 2.9 at the end of high school, and I was a good student, but, I just had a lot of outside distractions and stuff going on. But my GPA at Lincoln, my first semester I had a 3.8, 3.9. I've been on the dean's list since I got to Lincoln. So you can definitely make, new opportunities for yourself at HBCUs. We are the cream of culture, so yeah.
And thank you, Amina, for reminding everybody that Lincoln was the first.
Right. Just had to slip that in.
So on that note, we want to open up for any question that anybody has. You can mute yourself or you can put it in the chat. And maybe we covered it all. Questions going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, so we would just like to thank you guys for coming to our HBCU panel. And we would like to thank the fabulous Thaddeus PA from the class of 2017, the dynamic and illustrious Amina Muhammad from the class of 2017, and our fearless leader, the wonderful Mr. Shay Ash, our school board president in the class of 2008. So thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedules to share with the students at Lincoln University. And I hope that anybody who is on here now or watching later will take some serious consideration about HBCUs. And if you have any other questions, you can reach out to me and you can hit them up on social. All right. So thank you guys so much for coming.